Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. He thought one interview would clear his name. Instead, it detonated a bomb at the heart of the British monarchy, an explosion whose aftershocks are still felt today. Prince Andrew's car crash Newsnight interview in 2019 was a public relations catastrophe that shook the House of Windsor to its core. But the on-camera humiliation was just the beginning. The real story, the one that played out behind palace walls, was a secret war between a furious Prince William and his father, King Charles, over how to handle the family's biggest crisis in a generation. New books and palace insiders are now pulling back the curtain on the true extent of the fallout, exposing a deep rift between the king and his heir. This is the story of a power struggle, a battle for the soul of the monarchy, and a son who believed his father's indecision was a direct threat to his own future. To understand the war, you have to understand the battlefield. On November 16, 2019, Prince Andrew sat down with BBC journalist Emily Maitlis, convinced he could silence the questions about his relationship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He couldn't have been more wrong. Over the course of an hour, the Duke of York offered up a string of justifications and denials that weren't just unbelievable, but showed zero empathy for Epstein's victims. His excuses became instantly infamous. His alibi for being with one of his accusers, Virginia Giuffre, he claimed he was at a Pizza Express in Woking with his daughter, Princess Beatrice. It was a bizarrely specific detail that was met with global ridicule. Then he denied Giuffre's claim that he was sweating profusely, insisting a medical condition he got during the Falklands War made it almost impossible for him to sweat. When shown a photo of him with his arm around a 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre, he suggested it might be a fake. Perhaps most damning of all, he showed no remorse for his friendship with Epstein. He actually described his decision to visit Epstein after his conviction as an attempt to honorably end the relationship, calling himself too honorable. The interview was a masterclass in self-destruction. As one royal expert put it, Andrew's answers simply gave more oxygen to that story. The public backlash was swift and brutal. The man who was once a celebrated war hero was now a national embarrassment. But the public fallout was only half the story. Behind the palace gates, the crisis was escalating into a full-blown family war. The interview was, without a doubt, a public relations disaster, and the consequences for Andrew were immediate. Just days after it aired, he was forced to step back from all public roles. The Queen, who had reportedly given her blessing to the interview, now faced an institution in freefall. One of her own senior advisors even quit just before the program aired, a sign of the deep divisions the decision had caused. The palace was in a panic, described as being in a full-scale firefight, and suddenly facing questions about its very survival. It was in this chaotic atmosphere that Prince William, the future king, decided to act. According to royal editor Russell Myers, William was furious. He saw his uncle's actions not just as a personal disgrace, but as an existential threat to the monarchy he was destined to lead. A source in Myers' book, William and Catherine, The Intimate Inside Story, put it bluntly, William believed Andrew was a stain on all the family. He worried that if the institution didn't act decisively, the rot would set in and permanently damage the crown. William's view was clear and ruthless. Andrew made this mess, and he should be cut off completely to deal with it alone. He urged his father, then Prince Charles, and his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, to take drastic action. For William, this wasn't just about managing a news cycle. It was about protecting his own future and the reign that would one day be his. And this is where the battle lines were drawn. While William demanded his uncle's total banishment, he met resistance from the very top. The Queen, acting on a mother's instinct, hoped her son might eventually be cleared. But it was Charles' hesitation that truly angered William. Omid Scobie's explosive 2023 book, Endgame, claims Charles was emotional over his brother's fall and reluctant to take the hard line William demanded. Scobie alleges that while William set the wheels in motion to distance the family from Andrew, King Charles didn't want any part of it. This became a source of intense conflict. William, often described as hot-headed and a company man, saw the situation with cold, strategic clarity. He reportedly felt his father was not competent enough to handle the crisis properly. The Prince of Wales was adamant. Andrew should be nowhere near the family, not at private events, and definitely not on public walkabouts. The tension boiled over during a Christmas gathering at Sandringham. In a move toward family reconciliation, King Charles invited not only Andrew, but also his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, to walk with the family to church. For William, this was a massive betrayal of the strategy needed to protect the monarchy. According to sources in Meyer's book, he confronted his father directly over the decision in a tense exchange, where Charles ultimately put him, William, in his place. Though he strongly disagreed, William didn't push the confrontation further. This wasn't just a one-off argument. It represented a deep, philosophical divide. Charles, leading with his heart, was seen as soft on his brother. William, focused on the institution's future, saw any link to Andrew as a direct threat and viewed his father's approach as reckless. The competing agendas were clear. Charles was trying to manage a family crisis, while William was trying to perform surgery on the monarchy itself. The consequences of this internal war have been profound. While William may not have won every battle, his hardline view has largely won the war. Under immense pressure, Andrew has been progressively sidelined. He has been stripped of his military titles, royal patronages, and in a clear move to align with public sentiment. The Prince and Princess of Wales issued a statement saying they were deeply concerned by the continued revelations and that their thoughts remained focused on the victims. For William and Catherine, the Newsnight interview was the final straw, the moment their relationship with Andrew became terminal. This whole saga has exposed the different philosophies at the top of the royal family. Charles seems to favor a more traditional, conciliatory approach, while William is emerging as a far more ruthless operator, willing to make brutal decisions for the long-term survival of the crown. He is a man who, according to Omid Scobie, wants to modernize the monarchy the Cambridge way, even if it means clashing with his own father. The battle over Prince Andrew's future has been a defining crisis for the modern monarchy, revealing a family at war with itself. But this is just one piece of a much larger story about the future of the House of Windsor. If you want to stay informed with in-depth analysis of every royal twist and turn, a single, disastrous television interview sparked a crisis that has permanently changed the royal landscape. Prince Andrew's fall from grace didn't just tarnish his own reputation. It ignited a power struggle between the old guard and the new, between a father's loyalty and a son's ambition. The clash between King Charles and Prince William reveals two starkly different visions for the monarchy, one rooted in family preservation, the other in a cold, corporate-like focus on survival. The question now is a critical one for the House of Windsor's future. Does this power struggle signal a new, more decisive era shaped by William's unyielding vision? Or is it a sign of a family and an institution at its breaking point? Let us know what you think in the comments below.